A very good evening to our viewers. Welcome to ELITETV. You're watching ELITETV's Open Debate in English. I'm Chongtham Amrita, bringing you this topic on the crucial topic, Churachandpur, Epitome of Lawlessness. Churachandpur is the second biggest city of Manipur. It is only 60 kilometers away from the capital city of Imphal. Churachandpur has been a lawless town since a very long time. Stories of local bullies picking up a fight with visitors are abound. All sorts of illegal business have been thriving in Churachandpur since a very long time now. When prohibition was enforced in the whole of state, any kind of liquor was available and served in Churachandpur. Many contraband drugs and even arms are recovered in Manipur that are originated from Churachandpur itself. Even destination of fertilizers siphoned off in the black market, it is also very much prevalent in Churachandpur. The epicenter of the present 9-month-long ethnic clash and conflict is also it has also begun in Churachandpur itself. It first started on the 3rd of May and it spread all over the state. On 15th of February this year, a police head constable Siam Lal Paul was suspended for gross misconduct and violation of established police manual. The local Kuki CSOs demanded his immediate reinstatement. Such threats are not acceptable to any self-respecting IPS officer. Large scale of violence broke out the next day. The mob burned down the office complex of the DC and the SP. 2 people died in the police firing and 30 were injured. Above this, they issued death threats to the DC and the SP. They offered cash reward for the assassination of that SP and even released a statement to refrain from going to work. This kind of impudence is unheard of in the entire country, and the matter seems unresolved till today. To discuss on this matter, our panel of experts are present here today. They will be joining us online. Our first panelist for tonight is Mr. N. Ibungochoubi, Executive Editor of Manipur Mail. Welcome to Open Debate. Our second panelist for tonight is P. Sonamani, Socio-Political Commentator. Welcome to Open Debate. And
thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you, Amrita.
And our third panelist for tonight is Dr. N.G. Shantikumar, Professor of English, Taiwan, Delin University, Taiwan. Sorry if I mispronounced the Hungkou Delin University.
Good evening.
Welcome to Open Debate. So let's start with the first question to Oja and Ibungochoubi. We have seen so much lawlessness in the state of Churachandpur, even it being the epicenter of this 9-month-long conflict. So we have discussed many in previous times a lot of the issues, but regarding this recent matter, why is the government of India as well as the government of Manipur not taking any stern action against this crisis, but especially the recent crisis in Churachandpur? Oja Ibungochoubi, your take on this?
Good evening, Amrita. If we look at the present crisis, it has come to limelight, it has come to the global, I'm sorry, the entire global media or the national media, it is focusing now in Manipur. If we look at what is happening in Manipur, in isolation with what is happening in Churachandpur district, the very last recent incident, I think we should not be discussing an issue that has happened in Churachandpur in isolation, because we should be discussing Manipur as a whole since the last few decades, how lawlessness, how the insurgency movements of different groups, whether it is the NSA-NIM, whether this is the Kuki insurgency or the Meitei insurgency, or even the Muslims had for some time an armed outfit that was happening in Manipur. Lawlessness, when at different intervals, at regular intervals, the sense of insecurity and the state of anarchy was happening in Manipur for many decades. However, the media is now focusing post-May this very issue from the 3rd of May or the 4th of May that has happened since last year, and what happened in Churachandpur yesterday has become news today, because so-called the irritated or the agitated or the rebellions whatsoever the people of Churachandpur had brought down the tricolor. And
Yes.
in fact, the kind of a dishonor, the sense of how the SP or the DC was given a warning to leave that particular area within a time. Now, in our earlier discussion, Amrita, I had mentioned that protecting lives and the property of every single citizen, including government institutions, is the primary duty of the government. Protecting lives and property of the common people, at the same time providing security, and the government exists, the executive exists, the entire system has to be in that particular form where providing services to the people. That has failed post this very conflict in Churachandpur, where the dishonor of the tricolor, where the officers were brought down to ashes. My only question is how people have reacted to certain thing of the suspension of a police personnel because he was involved in a crisis. The only irony or the tragedy that we see is that the government of India, though the law and order is with the state government, and it is the duty of the government to tell the people, to show to the people that the system exists. Now, so far, they have not been able to prove to the people that the system exists, the government exists. It is an irony that no action, of course, they have asked for a judicial inquiry or whatever it is. From my perspective, I would take up the chapter, from May beginning. The government of India, whether it is the home, union or the state government, I have said repeatedly in my editorial column, and I have expressed that the system has failed to prove to the people that the government as such exists, because the rule of law has to be exhibited, the rule of law has to be proved to the people that it exists. And henceforth, my only editorial comment is that the kind of a desecration or the dishonor of the tricolor, disrobing of the honor of the flag, and plus having caused damage to the government institutions, and nothing has been done. It shows very clearly that the law and order that is to be taken up by the state government, now being aided by the central government in Manipur, I think has completely failed, because it has not been able to either protect, and after that, what actions have been initiated despite the inquiry or the whatever happened. My first take would be the government of India, the Home Department, both at the center and at the state. I think they have collectively proved to the people that they have not served the purpose, they have failed. I think this is what I would say, and I think we would get to hear from a very senior police officer, Sonamani is there, and our professor Shantikumar is there. And as a journalist, as we have been reporting for many years, from May onward, I think the system has failed. I think this is the impression
Indeed,
that
yes.
we have, Amrita.
The prime responsibility of a government is to protect the lives and the properties of its people. I think it's a very good point. I think the government seems to forget that, and then somehow the existence of a law and order and somehow the existence of a government is somehow missing, especially in Manipur, we can say for the last many years. Now moving on to Oja P. Sonamani, Oja Ibungochoubi has also mentioned, and we have seen in the videos, that the tricolor flag has been taken down by the mob while destroying the office of the DC and the SP. But what is funny is that just last year, in the August of 2023, for celebration of Independence Day, the Kuki Jinzo volunteers, they were happily flying the tricolor flags. And then just 6 months after that, just a few days ago, they now just taken it down, and there is even rumors that they have burned it. So why this very sudden change of the people, of the Kuki people in Churachandpur? Oja Sonamani.
Yes, ELITETV, I say thanks a lot for arranging such kind of a very important subject. I bow my head to all of the listeners in the world, especially my colleague, the most renowned, our journalist, Ibungochoubi, who had been knowing entire Northeast and particularly Nagaland, Manipur. He has got a vast knowledge. And also Dr. Shantikumar, away from home, he is from Taiwan. I bow my head to you and to all of you. Yes, I fully endorse with the Ibungochoubi self, because Manipur is in turmoil. See, police, actually law and order is to be controlled by the police only. Police, in average, out of 1,000, there is only one police or one constable who controls. And without the support, without the mass support, and without the help, and without the assistance from the peoples and the public, police cannot function at all. Police is not a fighting force. Police is simply to restore the peace and tranquility. Once upon a time, say about almost a decade, or maybe 5-7 years before, when I was in the service, we used to hear the glory of Manipur and the Manipur police. They were extremely doing well. Say example, in the Republic Day, most of the time, Manipur police, their gallantry award, then their performance, and in a small state, hardly those days, hardly 30 lakhs people or 25 lakhs people might have been the populations of the Manipur. Comparing to the JNK and the other parts of the country, Manipur police was at least the second position used to come maximum gallantry award, because they are known for the valiant, and they are known for their fighting spirit. They are known for the better control of the law and order. Unfortunately, since past couple of decades onwards, again slowly, gradually, the what I will call it, their momentum has gone down. I don't know whether if the people do not cooperate, the administration or the police, then that place is a lawlessness. That become a very horrible state today, what we see it. Now we cannot blame alone to the police. Police, without the support of the people, no police agency, no government can function it. As I said, in the average, out of 1,000, only one police constable is supposed to be functioning. That means that without the, say, Rock Peeler, 1892, when he was a commissioner of police in the Britain, 1892, he said that police should become for a day a civilian. A civilian should become for a day a police, so that both sides knows that the role of police and what the people wants and what the people wishes to get it done. This is a very wonderful suggestion, Rock Peeler, what is said. Today, our police is we are in chaos. It is just because we wholly and solely, from my side, I blame to the government. I blame to the government. Police works under the whim of the government now. This is not a mere law and order issue. This is a narco-terrorist issue to be handled by the police. So police could not handle it without the help of the government of India. Government of India reportedly, we learned that more than 60,000-70,000 the forces from the different armed personnel, from the army, paramilitary, then the CAPF, various organizations, they have already reached Manipur, and that they are trying to quell the situation. As Manipur government, as I said at the outset of my talk, that police is not a fighting force. We are simply to restore peace and tranquility. And now the central government has taken over now. Manipur government apparently has been sidelined, that you be at home, all right, let us control it. Okay, fine, we agree. India government is the supreme, India government is the sole authority. Now the India government, since she has intervened, then I think there is no reason we see that 60,000-70,000 extra forces, apart from the armed forces and paramilitary who are permanently stationed in Manipur, as because we are nearing the border of the Myanmar and some other countries. So there is no reason we see that Manipur cannot be quelled, the burning situation. We do not know actually whether the government of India is really serious, or if not, say example, let me cite, I am nothing against anyone. I was a policeman for about 38, 39 years. Let me speak from my own angle. We do not know about the religion. We do not know about the community. We don't differentiate. We do not know that he is my clan. Or maybe some section of people from the minority group, they may be going and say, he is my clan, he is my relative, or he is my so-and-so. No, we don't differentiate that way. A culprit is a culprit. He has to be treated in the same manner. In the same way, Delhi, in many years, in many decades, we have seen Delhi's, the established police, or the Delhi's, the station police personnel, we used to see that Manipur police was very tough. We used to talk. In many states, yes, they're very tough, they're very straightforward in the field of investigations, in the field of the quelling situations. We used to speak and we used to hear it. Even in the national media, a lot of appreciations was already highlighted many times. But today we do not know who is who, and now the situations and the media rules the situation. Media gives the exactly outcome of the police function, because the police is totally has become a handicap now, as the police is under the government of Manipur. Now as per the choice of the government of India, or with the consent of the Manipur government, a DGP has been changed from one to another one. Might be these are all policies adopted by the government. What she thinks that the best. Yes, we have no say to say. But whatever might be the reason, let me come back. Our Ibungochoubi said his own earlier his endorsement. I also fully endorse it. Now in Churachandpur, what is going on today is something unexpected.
Yes,
I
indeed,
don't blame the Churachandpur.
Yes, just Sonamani, they have even almost burned down. They have taken down the tricolor, the Indian colored national flag.
Right.
So yeah, on that point, would you like to comment? Yeah. Because just last year,
which should not have been done. Yeah, which should not have been done. This is a dishonor to the nation. See, under sections of the 1971 clause 2, anyone who dishonor, who defame the national flag, that he or she is punishable for 3 years, even for the defacing, even for the burning down, even for the bringing down. This is absolute dishonor.
Yes, this and these are even all caught on camera. I think there is a beautiful video footage now.
Yes.
Now these people should be caught.
Yes, so in a simple way, now the law and order is being controlled by the outlawed people and by some elements. I will not say by the citizen. But the honest citizens will never dishonor in this way. Honest citizens will never allow to kill in a large scale in this manner in the Churachandpur. What is happening here? It is something extra. The way we used to see the long before the cowboy pictures, you see in the Kansas or in the other place in the South America, they used to kill whatever they feel like every day, every moment. It is same way today it is happening. Very unfortunate. We don't blame anyone, but we blame to the people. Because, as I said, the administration and the police is without the support of the people. See, I stayed in Nagaland, one of the Mr. Ibungochoubi, he knows better. We stayed in the Nagaland for the 6 decades. See, there was a horrible situation, but the police, at least somehow we are not targeted. We were never targeted. Even the NSN IM, NSN K, then this Naga insurgency area, they used to cordon many things, but then never they have harmed police, they have never cordoned, they have never ransacked, they have never burned down in such a way. They used to fight with the government of India and with the armed personnel.
Yes, there is a very striking difference, Sonamani, you have just put that while you stay in Nagaland, that you have not witnessed any such untoward incidents towards the police. And you have mentioned a very good point that the law is now no longer in the hands of the police, because they are almost like a handicap, and now the law is in the hands of the outlaw. I think in a very good point. I'll come back to you again, Sonamani. I'm moving on to Dr. Shantikumar again. On this note, Dr. Shantikumar, we have even Dr. Ibungochoubi also mentioned that this lawlessness of Churachandpur need not be studied or need not be discussed in isolation, because this lawlessness has been prevailing in the state of Manipur for decades. So I'd like to just remind one incident that has happened in the 1997 the conflict of the Meitei and the Kuki, it was very bloody. And again, a few years ago, in the August of 2015, there was a Protection of Manipur People Bill that was passed in the 2015. And after that, there was a bit of a violence that was happened, and there was burning down of houses, especially of one minister, of the then minister of Mr. Phongjathang Tongsin's. His house was burned down, and again, houses of other MLAs was also burned down because of that bill, and 8 people died in that violence. And what happens is the people of Churachandpur, they refuse to take the bodies of these 8 people, and these 8 people have been in the morgue for almost 2 years in Churachandpur. So it seems that given the recent conflict happening in Manipur, they play a lot of politics over dead bodies. So what is your take on this, Dr. Shantikumar? Dr. Shantikumar, you're on mute. Can you please unmute and speak again?
Hello.
Yes, okay, you're now
Good
audible.
evening once more. Yes. Okay. Hello.
Yes, please go on. We can hear you.
Hello. Okay. Good evening once more. Yes. In 1997, yeah, a lot of people killed. I mean, between the Kukis and the Meitei conflict. Many people died. I think more than 300 people died.
Yes.
So far I remember. And then again in 2015, as Amrita just mentioned, many people died, like 8 people, but they kept for 632 days.
Yes, almost 2 years.
In the morgue, refusing to take them back and give them the last rights to respect the dead bodies, dead souls. But they didn't do it, and it was actually wrong. Yes, they might have had many demands, many dissatisfactions against the government or against the leaders, but but playing with the dead body, with the dead souls for their political gain or for their selfish goals is totally wrong. So that is totally wrong, and that shouldn't be done. So in case of our Delhi, also in June 18 uprising, 18 people were killed in the police shooting. And they were supposed to be out. So the army, the Central Police, I think from the CRPF side, they planned to burn them in the riverside with straws and with some garbage or straws. But Tamo Sarangteng Manawi, he stopped. He was the commanding officer at that time, and he stopped that. In our culture, we respect the dead, not only the living people, we also respect the dead people, their souls. So we always give the necessary, the last rites, the last ceremony, the last functions for the dead souls. And that is what we did. So because of Tamo Manawi, all those dead people were, they were given the right. They were given the last rites. Well, but in case of Churachandpur, it didn't happen, and it was very bad. So this is wrong. And so I think this is what I like to say about this. And for me, living here more than 25 years in a country where law and rules are, people abide by, laws and rules of the country. It doesn't matter you are rich or poor. It doesn't matter you are politicians or you are president or you are just a layman or student. It doesn't matter. Everybody abide by the laws. And living in such a country, when I see the turmoils, the conflicts, the lawlessness, I feel very, very sad, and I feel very uncomfortable. It seems to me, sir, I feel I've been having nightmares every day. It's very bad, and recently this incident happened in Churachandpur. This is one very big shocking incident again, because how some people or an organization can be above the law and above the country's law, above the constitutions of India, and above the state laws. So concerning about this, talking about this lawlessness, and I feel very, very shocked, and not only destroying the important documents in the building, inside the building in DC, and also damaging the police stations. They even warn this ITLF, they even dare to warn those two officers, DC and SP, to leave within 24 hours. So my question is, who are they? Are they above the law? Are they above the Indian Constitution? Are they above the law of the state or law of the nation? So I think it's the right time for central government and state government to show what is law and what are laws. And everybody, doesn't matter whether they are from the valley or they are from the hill or they are from Kuki communities or they are from Meitei communities or Naga or Meitei Pangal, it doesn't matter. Law is for everyone. But in my opinion, it seems like even the law, the same law is not applied, not executed evenly, especially in the hills and in the valley. So I find laws are kind of still functioning, not that 100%, but still functioning much, much better than in the hilly areas. For example, here in Churachandpur or in other hill areas, laws are totally failed. I agree with Sonamani and Ibungochoubi about the failure of state laws, central government's laws. But in case of valley, I think laws are still functioning. You know, when some people, when some valley people protest, or government central forces can collapse. They can shoot, they can shoot, they can kill, and they can fire guns. But what about in hilly areas? It's very rare. So I think law should be applied everywhere. It doesn't matter valley or hill. It doesn't matter what locality, what communities there, what community stay there, and who live there. It doesn't matter. So law should be applied and executed equally. I think I will keep this way first round. Amrita.
Okay, now moving on to our second round, I'll move on to Ibungochoubi. Dr. Shantikumar has said that there is uneven functioning of law in Manipur. It is indeed very peculiar, because it does happen and we can all feel it, that law, the same law does not apply in the hills as it applies in the valley. And we all know that the Churachandpur Assembly constituency is represented by Shri L.M. Kaute. He is also a retired IPS officer, and he is also from the BJP, the ruling government, and he was also a former DGP as well. So we have not heard any kind of statement from him regarding the recent attacks, this recent violence. So do you think he have failed to inspire any kind of peace, any kind of virtue in his own assembly constituency? What is your take on this? And the uneven distribution and the functioning of law and order in the hills and the valley, such divide.
Amrita, I think the 10 MLAs belonging to the community, ever since the problem started in the month of May, that is the beginning of May, the stoic silence of the members of the House, the 10 MLAs belonging to the community, it reflects, or I must say it profoundly reflects the pressure on them, or they are not allowed to speak by the community. I think this is what I perceive.
Okay.
The silence or any kind of comment or their views on any issue since the very beginning. Even the two ministers are there in the present cabinet. There are two ministers from the community. They have not spoken a word after the issue started. We believe, or we are compelled to believe, that the movement of the community or the strength of the community has threatened, or there is a perception of threat. There is a threat perception on them. In the event of they saying something, I think they might commit a mistake, or that will be against the community. So their stock silence itself is a big question today as to why they have not spoken, either for peace, either for conciliation, or even a step forward, or they have no views on that. Which means the entire movement, or the kind of a plan or the set that the community has on them, I think has compelled them to be silent. I think this is one way or the other. Despite being a former Director General of Police representing Churachandpur, he has not spoken a single word after he became a member of the House, and even after the event started, which means they have been either told to keep quiet, or they have been compelled to say nothing, or they have nothing to say. Since they have not spoken so far, or of course we have seen them as a group going to Mizoram, meeting the Chief Minister of Mizoram, then going to meet some of the people in group. They have exhibited their solidarity. However, on certain things, I think if at all the MLAs belonging to that community, they have sworn in by the Constitution. When they take up a job, they are sworn in as a member of the Legislative Assembly in the name of the Constitution. And when the tricolor flag was brought down, yes, we expected that the MLAs belonging to that community would have said something, that it was an uncalled for incident, or it was to be condemned. However, they have kept silent, which means they have been told to keep quiet. I think this must be something that we need to understand. Or they do not have the powers to speak. They do not have the strength to speak. I think this is how we have to look at it. Amrita, I think the silence by 10 MLAs on what is happening in Manipur, I think it also reflects their weaknesses as a leader. Their weaknesses as a leader, that they do not command respect, they do not have the strength, they do not have the political will, they do not have the political acumen, and they do not have the political experience to live in this very country. I think this is how we have to see. And it would be very harsh for me to say that they do not have the will to speak. They have the will to speak, however, there is a threat perception, which I think if they speak, they have no future as their leader. I think this is something that we have to presume. And editorially, we can reflect that the silence of the 10 MLAs, even after the flag at their district headquarters even have been pulled down, they have no moral strength to speak up, speaks volumes. I think we have to look at that, Amrita, and I think we were shocked and we are upset and we are not happy. And if at all a political leader cannot comment or express their views on how, when the office buildings are brought down as a leader, how will they protect the common people? Indeed. I think this is something that the leader should have the courage. It is not the chair, it is not the status that they have as a minister or an MLA. They have to tell the people that the government institutions are important. The government institutions are there for the people. We exist, we live because of the government. And we have a right to say anything. We have a right, responsible right, to criticize any kind of a policy. That is why we express in our editorial comments. The silence of the 10 MLAs, even after the office was brought down, we have to look from that perspective that they have a threat perception. If they say anything, they will be either ousted or they will be excommunicated by that community. I think this is something that people are talking about. If they speak and tell the truth to the people, I think this is what we might understand.
Yeah, either they have this threat perception, or they choose not to speak out because who knows, as you also mentioned, that they do not have the power, so maybe there could be someone who has the power over them. So it remains to be seen, because on the February of 28th, the assembly has been summoned. So we will see what the 10 MLAs will be doing and what steps that they will be taking up in this assembly session. So moving on to Oja Sonamani, that the DGP of the state if it was still held by a Kuki community, because we have been discussing regarding this matter, and we know that recently the DJP belonging to a particular community has been removed and was replaced by someone who does not have any bias towards any of the community in conflict. So how do you think they might have reacted in this situation happening in Churachandpur? And also please, Oja Sonamani, since you have served as a police officer, as an SP for many years, if this situation, according to you, how would you have handled this in Churachandpur? Because death threats to one superintendent, death threats to DC to leave that place in 24 hours, that kind of audacity to be done against that kind of stature of that kind of authority and representatives of the government, of the executive. So how would you have reacted if this kind of situation was done? Just give us your thoughts on this.
Police never differentiate color and creed and his religions or his community. Police, they know only how to execute and how to quell the situation. That's called the police. Manipur police, as I said at the outset in my first round, Manipur police, most of the time, Manipuri's Meitei top-ranking officers, they were really sometimes very ferocious. They really control and they kept under control. Peace and tranquility was maintained in Manipur, most of the places. I have seen that two of my colleagues, but today they are in a very high-profile job, like Mr. S. Clay Khongsai, like El Kailun. They were one time when in the back end of my career, they joined in the service. They are my brothers, they are my senior colleagues. Still, I have my due regards. They had valiantly fought in many eventuality, in many cases, and they were being suitably awarded. How they did and what they did, perhaps I may be forgiven. I will not expedite more than this. Many courageous. If the government stand behind them, if the community is behind them, then the police can execute very, very effectively. Because without the help, without the assistance of the public, police cannot do anything. As I said that we are a minority, but we are being appointed, we mean business for the peace, to restore peace and to make prevail the peace and tranquility in the state or in that locality. And kindly allow me to come back to the Churachandpur. Churachandpur, as I understand, as we used to read and as we used to bold enough to say, Churachandpur had produced a lot of the hundreds and the thousands, a lot of bureaucrats and the top police rankings and the Indian Foreign Service and Allied Service and the educated people. People used to say that it's a Hollywood. People used to say that so many well-qualified people, say even like Mr. Sangliana. I have personally got an opportunity to call on him when he was the Commissioner of Police in Bangalore. I used to go oftenly for my own purposes, and there I used to call on him. And later he was elected as a member of parliament in Bengaluru. Kindly just imagine, he is from Churachandpur, and he became the member of parliament, who was the DGP, and you see, a lot of talented people are mostly from Churachandpur. So we were proud of it, but today, the way the things are happening, it's right. A lawlessness, right. Mm-hmm. And actually, let me substantiate one or two lines to our senior journalist, our Ibungochoubi sub. You see that the MLAs, they are not speaking a word. On the other hand, when they go out from Churachandpur, they sit with a person like Joram Thanga, whose aim and object is to somehow the Manipur to be balkanized. And he claimed already, and he said spontaneously, and I said, I thank him. At least he said that we wanted to see that what is called this, the Ferjol and our Kuki Jo area, Churachandpur, and this Kangpokpi, all these areas should merge, and we have a different nation, he said. And the person who said, who was the erstwhile the chief minister, with him the 10 MLAs go and sit down there. If there is a threat perceptions on them, then the matter could have been brought to the knowledge of the government, but they have not done it. But can you remember it? Even Mr. L.M. Khote, he was a DGP. Even after his resigning, he joined the government, and he also had gone against the, and he has also contraband against the government and against the constitutions even. So there is a threat perception, might be or might not be. Even see, if as senior officer in the police we join not to enjoy, sometimes we join that with the perception that we may die too. Let me recall it. I'm very sorry to bring it his name again. Late DGP, my boss, Mr. Late M. Heso Mao, he and along about the hundreds of us, we were engaged in some important operations in couple of occasions. Yes, somehow or other we succeeded and we bring the culprits. Unfortunately, after his retirement, a couple of days later, some elements went and they had gunned down him in his residence and they shot him to death. See, this is the reason we are sorry for them. We join police not to use the lipstick and not to be a very showy, fashionable, my car, my dress, and the movie camera should face, movie camera cover me, and a beautiful, handsome person should appear. No, 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 not like a girlish or not like a lady fashion type, no. You join service, you spell out. If 10 MLAs, if you cannot spell out what is your motive, I think the silence is consent. This troubleshooter who are revolting against the Manipur constitution, against the India government constitution, they are the people, these 10 MLAs, they are thickly corroborated and they have extended their hand with this group. That is the reason they cannot. If they say that they pose a serious threat or their perception, they can ask one company, even 100 people can go behind them or before them, wherever they go, which they are not ready to buy that theory. They say that when my people, where they go, I am for the people, I am for the public, let me also go with them. But they are the main people who are igniting today this issue.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Oja Sonamani, you have mentioned a very key point, because Minister and MLA, Mr. Govindas Konthajam has also named, and he stated that MLA from Saikot Assembly constituency, Sri Paulinlal Haukip, he has instigated this recent flare-up violence in Churachandpur. So I'd like to take that point to Dr. Shantikumar, that you have just heard me mention that one MLA and minister have also instigated and named one Paulinlal Haukip, that saying he instigated this violence. So, and he also said that he will launch an FIR against him. But we have seen a lot of FIRs in this matter, and also Oja Ibungochoubi also mentioned before there have been a lot of judicial inquiry. But what does it all mean without a definitive follow-up action? Because the action is what the people want to see. So, just an FIR, do you think this will turn out to be some kind of an appeasing or some kind of, do you think, what do you think on this matter, Dr. Shantikumar?
I think so far since this incident came up on May 3rd, I think we have more than 6,000 FIR, I think.
Yes.
And I don't know how many of them solved already, how many investigated, how many inquire, how many solved the problems. I mean, so far, even those students, like those two students, one girl, one boy, who were killed by those narco-terrorists.
Yes, Lanchenbi and
they caught those culprits, but still, how come they couldn't find dead bodies, so that the family can get the, necessary rights? Even they couldn't do that. So it's hard to rely and hard to trust on such statement by any politicians. I mean, so far, Manipuri politicians are concerned. So, because I live in a society where the political leaders, they are very honest, they are very truthful, and they do what they are supposed to do. And when they go on the street, they can go freely without security guards, without escorts. But in case of Manipur, it's totally different in India, especially in Manipur, different, right? Because it shows they are afraid of external forces which can claim their lives, right?
Good point, yes.
Here, so when Mr. Govindas Kontogam, minister, says about the FIR, maybe they may do that. Might be this is for show, just to appease Delhi people, Meetei people. I mean, so that you know, mob violence kind of things don't happen, you know, because of this Churachandpur incident. So maybe this is just to appease the Valley people, just to cool them, to keep them down, and nothing comes up, you know, against them. So, or could be he is serious about this, but why not? For the last almost 10 months, they haven't done any FIR against these 10 MLAs, then these 10 Kukizo MLAs. And why only now? Because they have instigated the militants, the narco-terrorists for so long. In many cases, in many of their statements, we already came to know that. But no FIR was lodged against them so far. And how come suddenly this time? Because I feel like this might be just for show, just to cover or just to cool down the Valley people. I think I feel this way. But I hope Minister Govindas Kontogam's statement is true and honest, and they will do the FIR, they will lodge the FIR, and they will take up necessary steps against those, MLA Paulen Lan or those 10 ministers. But I just like to bring in something about this state and central. Actually, this is not this is actually very small incident compared to the populations. You know, I mean, it happened. You know, I mean, only 2 communities are involved in this conflict. But why the central government? Why the state government cannot control?
Indeed.
Even though it's going to be 10 months. So there is something hidden. There is something hidden inside secrets which are not transparent, which central government don't like us to know, and the state government doesn't like us to know. So there are some secrets behind going on between central government and those 10 BJP MLAs from the hills, I mean those Kukijo 10 MLAs, and also with our BJP Lenga. So, because we don't know what will happen so far now, 10 months already, and this small incident could have been, you know, solved very easily in a matter of 1 week or 2 weeks. But now 10 months, it's going to be 10 months and still not solved. And we people are worried so much what will happen next. And the attack from the hill areas, from the Kuki narco-terrorists never stop. You know, they use they even use bombs and LMGs and bombs and very powerful weapons. But still, the central forces kept looking. And state government cannot do anything. And this central government is talking about applying some to some valley insurgents or valley people to move out from certain areas, like to go back to certain areas, not to stay there in the hill area. But who made this situation? This is the central government. Central government is playing around and they're trying to divide all these communities and let them fight. And so what is their secret?
Yes, either they are playing around the central government, or they absolutely have no idea what they are going to do with Manipur situation, because 10 month long is not a very short time, and it has grown out of proportion, honestly. And I feel like, if I may, then the central government has no clue what to do with the Manipur situation, because we all remember when Amit Shah was here and he said he will solve the Manipur issue in just a few days, and now what has happened? I think we need to remind it to him again. Now, okay.
And here I would like just to add a few lines.
Okay.
It shows how ineffective, how incapable of our leaders and the central leaders are. You know, when things are not transparent, it shows you cannot openly say out what's your plan, what are your policies, what are your plans. They cannot say out earlier because they are not effective. They are not capable of doing many things. That shows. But you know, here in Taiwan, you know, people, if they have some policies, they have some plan, you know, they will tell out everything almost.
Indeed. Yeah, transparency.
People can understand, people can know, people can wait for the functions, for the executions. But whereas in India, whereas in Manipur, everything is kept secret. Everything is kept under cover.
Right.
And how we people can, live a secure life. And this is what happening. Thank you.
Okay, I'll now move on to our third round. We are almost to the end of our episode. I'll move on to Ibungochoubi that regarding these death threats being issued to the DC and the SP, what are the implications of death threats being issued to them, the DC whose name is Darun Kumar and the SP whose name is Shivananda Survey, and also to stating them to leave Churachandpur within 24 hours by a CSO or by a mob? What are the implications, and what does this show? What does this show of the people issuing these threats as if they don't care about the law at all, like they can do anything because they know that the police headquarters in Imphal, just 60 kilometers away from Churachandpur, they cannot touch their hair. It shows that, I feel. What do you think about that?
Well, Amrita, as I said, if any organization has given a threat or given a message to a government servant, it is the responsibility of the government to initiate actions against them in whatsoever capacity that the government should. The issue is whether the government of Manipur or the government of India, that is the central government, have recognized or heard that very threat. They have to verify whether that threat issued by an organization has been received, or even through the media reports or through the social media. Even if there is no message to the government should have taken up a suo motu case. Whenever there is a report, there is a report, even though if there is no formal report to the police station or to the government, based on the information, the government has the responsibility to initiate actions legally. Suo motu, which means despite the absence of a formal report, the government should initiate an action. If they have not initiated any action, then the government should reply to the people, should tell the people they have failed to exist as a system. This is what I said.
Yes.
When the government fails to take initiatives or to take action, the very simple message that people get is that there is no governance. The government has to prove to the people that it exists, the rule of law exists. This is precisely what I have been saying, that in the normal times, it is very easy for the administration to manage whatsoever the issues that they face. It is during the difficult times that they have to prove that the government exists, because ultimately it is the responsibility of the government to initiate actions. The Home Minister, both at the state and at the center, are to react and to act promptly. This is what I have said in my editorial comment. If they have not, then they have failed to tell the people that they exist. Precisely. That is the message that the government is giving to the people. For the last 9 to 10 months, things have been going on. The absolute sense of insecurity, the absolute sense, the anarchy, what you call lawlessness, is something that we have been seeing in the state of Manipur. Though I said in my beginning remark that the law and order, or the sense of insecurity, or what you call lawlessness, has been going on in Manipur in different areas, whether it is in Imphal or in other districts, there had been, in fact, if you look at the news press release from the Raj Bhavan very recently, in the last Raj Bhavan, there was a press release from the governor's office that transporters from the entire Northeast had called on her. Transporters from Dimapur, transporter from Senapati, and transporters, all the transport unions coming into Manipur, either from Silchar or from Mau, they called on the governor. And they gave a letter saying that transporters are providing essential commodities. They are bringing in essential commodities from different parts of the country. However, right from the moment they enter Manipur from Mau or from Jiribam, the kind of illegal taxes that is happening on the highway, they highlighted the governor, which means there seems to be some kind of not looking at what is happening in Manipur. From Mau to Imphal, from Jiribam to Imphal, they have mentioned to the governor that illegal taxes, because the cost of cement, a bag in Dimapur costs just about 400, and we are buying at 610 rupees in Imphal. It is because of the illegal taxes levied on the highway from the transporters and businessmen. They never lose. They recover from the people of Manipur, which means the governments have failed to protect the transporters within Manipur. Forget about lawlessness or the governance in Churachandpur, which happened yesterday. It is an incident. However, for the last so many years, I think every person in Manipur, you know, you are buying construction material, whatever the case is, you just compare the price at Dimapur or at Kohima and in Imphal. The price is almost 30 to 40% more because of the taxes, because of the illegal taxes collected by so-called whatever groups on these highways for many decades. Many decades. That is why I said, when we discuss lawlessness or the lack of governance in Manipur, it is not what is happening in, yes, what has happened in Churachandpur has told the people after the tricolor was pulled down. And the entire world is watching, the entire country saw. However, as a journalist, we have been reporting the lawlessness or some kind of lack of governance in the entire state for almost 30-40 years of my experience as a journalist, which reflects lack of will, lack of political wisdom, and also that acumen as to how these issues can be handled. The Home Minister, both at the center and at the state, it is their responsibility. And what is happening in Manipur today, I think the silence of the central government till today is something that we are very concerned, we are worried. At the same time, we are also now losing our patience. We are losing our patience.
Yeah.
I think this is something that we should know. And whatsoever we are discussing here at different media or different platform, at least they are listening to what we are saying. And I have told in the beginning that there is a BJP government at Delhi and BJP government in Manipur. They are the same political party. When you look at when the BJP came to government, the very first term, you just look at the newspaper clippings and how many ministers had come to Manipur to celebrate their victory in Manipur, and how many leaders from their party had visited Manipur. There was a big fanfare, the airport was busy, roads were busy, and now after this crisis from May 4 or May 3 whatsoever, how many political leaders, not less than the, what do you call the joint secretary or the secretary of the Bharatiya Janata Party, they have not visited Manipur, because this is a political issue, and their political party cadres need to understand. how many cabinet ministers have visited Manipur if they are serious about what is happening in Manipur? This is the plea from the people of the state. Forget about Prime Minister's silence. The Home Minister came to Manipur. He visited. He announced that I will be back after 15 days. I think that 15 days is so stretchable that it has gone beyond 9 months.
Indeed.
You know, when we talk of the elasticity, I do not know whether that, he said I'll be back after 15 days. That 15 days is so long stretched. You know, Amrita, I think they should not take people of Manipur for a ride. Forget about it. The whole country is watching. The entire world is watching. So I think just the rhetoric comments from the ministers in Manipur, from the rhetoric comments from the Union Cabinet ministers, even when our own Union External Affairs Minister said officially that what is happening in Manipur, he has not hinted, but he has given an official statement that external forces are present in Manipur.
Yes.
Even the Home Minister has given a statement on the floor of the House in Delhi, in the Parliament, that external forces are present in Manipur. It is almost tantamount to aggression. It is a tantamount to aggression when
External
the Union
aggression,
Home Minister,
indeed, yes.
when the Home Minister and the External Affairs Minister, having said officially that external forces elements are present in Manipur, which is almost an aggression and tantamount to an aggression, what is the government doing?
Yes.
That is one question even the child is asking. And from this perspective, sometimes discussing such issues at different level, it is very frustrating for us to give comment in the same way. I think I must have said this in almost all the discussions, that if at all the external ministers has commented, he has admitted that the external forces are present in Manipur. It is not Manipur. External forces are present on the soil of India.
Indeed.
India. Now they cannot act. They cannot protect the boundary. I think if the hoisting or the dishonor that the tricolor, if it had happened somewhere, I do not know how the government of India would have reacted. I think
indeed, we can sense a very huge differential treatment in Manipur. It is very loud indeed. Yes, I'd like to move on to Oja Sonamani and Dr. Shantikumar very quickly, because we are almost in the very last minutes of our episode today. So Oja Sonamani, just very quick, just 2 minutes from you. I'd just like to know, as a police officer, because Churachandpur is just 60 kilometers from the headquarters of the police in Imphal, why is the police headquarters not sending any extra forces and empower the SP to quell this disturbance in Churachandpur? Just 2 minutes, Pangu Sonamani.
Manipur government is totally handicapped. Government of India's will only they will act. If they wish they could do it, Government of India says no, under discreetly, don't do it. Was finished, that's why another reason. Yeah, so Manipur government has become a puppet. Whatever the Government of India wishes, she is to do. In a simple way, I will just take 1 minute, only 1.5 minutes.
Okay.
India government has no intention to solve issue. India government perhaps contemplating that the Manipur to be balkanized like Assam, like from Assam Meghalaya, like from Assam Naga Hills to Ensang area, like from Assam the Mizoram, like from Assam Bodoland, like the India government is apparently contemplating to divide into pieces. This is what I feel. Manipur government is a puppet. Whatever the Government of India says, you do it. Apna kursi bachao. Tab tum chup raho. Jo main kahunga, wo karo.
As long as there is a BJP flag flying in the Imphal Valley, then whatever happens.
They have no moral. See, they have no moral authority, moral rights. So we have to see that how to protect the Manipur. We shall not allow to see that like Assam. We definitely will have to protect it by the people only. And these 10 MLAs, they are also might be the Chin Kuki Jo, who are non-indigenous of this country. Now they are elected people. That is the reason they are spearheading it. They know it everything. peoples are not cooperating or cooperating. These are all the alibi. These are all the false. They themselves are conspiring. They are from the Mizoram. They are firing rockets to Manipur. So these are all the policies by the politicians. They wanted to completely finish the Manipur, which we shall not agree it. Manipur government, Manipur people, be wary. Don't believe on the government of India. She has got the many policies.
Manipur government beware is what Dr. Sonamani wants to say.
Small countries, several states, they wanted to create and they wanted to enjoy perhaps with that. Sarkar, Bharat Sarkar, हम गुजारिश करते हैं, ये हम होने नहीं देंगे आपको. We people.
Okay, Dr. Sonamani, I'll move on to Dr. Shantikumar very quickly because our time is almost up. So, Dr. Shantikumar, the ITLF has issued a statement stating all the government employees to refrain from going to work, and the government, the Manipur government has announced that if no work, then there is no pay for the government service, especially posted in Churachandpur. So, do you think this will be able to defy the statement put forward by ITLF? Just 2 minutes. We are almost coming to the end, Dr. Shantikumar.
I think this ITLF is nobody. They just sprung up recently,
and we're giving them too much power, I think.
Actually, so yeah, they don't have laws in their hands. So why should government of Manipur, government of India listen to them? So whatever Manipur government or central government have to do, they should do. So, but in case those workers don't come, they're just saying no freelance. Nobody should be given freelance without work, without hard work. So if those workers, employees don't go to office, they don't deserve to get a penny. So I totally agree with the Manipur government. No job, no office, no money, no salary. So Manipur government has to show this statement into action, not just showing off,
yes,
not
indeed.
just for appeasement. But yeah, we like they execute whatever they pronounce, whatever statement they made. So then only people will respect, people will follow them. But they are doing the opposite. So here I totally agree with Ibungochoubi and Sonamani about the lawlessness and the central leaders' attitude towards Manipur. So what I like to say is the last few sentences, 1 or 2 sentences, is Manipur leaders cannot just rely on the central leaders. We cannot trust them. So they have to stand strong, and they have to pronounce, they have to say out what they are supposed to do. And not only our leaders, but our people. We people should stand up united, and we need to protect our territorial integrity. So, thank you.
Okay, on that note, we would like to wrap up today's episode. Our experts have put forward different points. So after talking with our experts today, it is very evident that Churachandpur, as being the second largest city in Manipur, faces significant challenges related to lawlessness and illegal activities. And this is not an isolated incident alone, because lawlessness has been plaguing Manipur since the very last so many decades. And it is just one more symptom among many symptoms. And again, if the government remains to sit silently and watch silently, then the people will lose trust, because it is already happening, and that the people of Manipur and even the state government needs to protect our own and not heavily rely on the central leadership. This is what our expert panelists have stated and put forward today. So I'd like to thank our panelists for being here today. Dr. Shantikumar, Oja P. Sonamani, Oja and Ibungochoubi, thank you once again for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'd also like to thank our viewers for tuning in tonight. Please leave your thoughts and comments with us today. We'll be back again next Monday with more exciting topics. Until then, have a good night.